Welcome to Crew Technology Merge Chat.
That's Corey. And I'm Tom. And we're here to talk to you about merging.
The merge.
No, we don't want to do that.
Yeah. Corey and Tom on the couch talking about the merge. Ta-da.
Yes. It was December time, and I was driving to drop my brother-in-law's dogs off for he was getting married, and I got a call from Guy. And you were in the pub here.
Yes,
I think
that's right. Yep.
And up until then, we were talking about purchasing and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but originally they'd come and said, would you sell a piece? But we weren't sure about that. And we're obviously going through those discussions. And then you got that call, didn't you, from Guy?
Yeah, got the call from Guy, came back to you and said, oh, different chat now.
Yeah.
And then we'd had a few pints. Well, you'd had a few pints. I was driving. So, but you had a few pints, and then I think we caught up properly about it the next day.
Yeah, but generally excitement. I think it was felt a lot more like a partnership than us selling out, right?
Yeah, so, definitely. Yeah, no, it was exciting times, that's for sure.
Yeah. My biggest worry about merging was keeping the culture piece, right? That was the biggest worry, was going into a bit of an unknown with the North Island team, having only met the leadership team. My biggest worry was around culture. And then second to that, obviously we've made all the decisions for 8 or 9 years, and then you're part of a bigger circle, bigger decision-making group. I think if I carry that conversation on, there's probably, I didn't realise it, but there's probably less risk in more decision makers around the table, but things take a little bit longer, don't they?
Yes, yeah, definitely. We found out through the merge process about how long decisions make when there's a lot of people around. So yeah, that was definitely a worry. But also the brand, we've created such a good brand. But again, Crew isn't just a trademark or a brand. It's who we are as a people. What we do every day, how we hold ourselves every day. So it's more than just that sign up on the wall there. It's a bigger thing. So I think we'll never lose that. But also for me, it's about what we were going to do, because there's a lot of people around the table. And we have imposter syndrome. It's something that we've always talked about. Is we're two lads who had a desk and built it up. We never sat in a room with all these clever people, but we also didn't realize what we brought to the table as well. So I worried about where I'd fit into a bigger organization, to a Potentia type organization, but that's all changed over the time after getting to know everyone. We're
sort of learning as we go now as well, right? There's a bit of flexibility required and collaboration. But absolutely. It was, Mine would be...
Your craziest crew memory?
Craziest crew memory would be looking in our bank account after 8 months, and we had $246 left. We had some invoices out that were supposed to come back in, but I remember having a conversation with you that we needed to get things moving pretty quickly. And then literally, the next day your phone rang. Was
Alex Morecambe.
Alex Morecambe from InTouch, telling us that he wanted to catch up because he couldn't find developers in Queenstown, and you'd been hassling him for 3 months.
Yeah, and then he also told us he thought we were hairdressers. Yeah. He thought, didn't know what our crew brand was.
Yeah.
So that was a good one.
Yeah.
My best memory of meeting the Potentia team would be, they're just like us. We went for that lunch.
It was a board meeting first, and you and I were absolutely packing it because we'd never been to a board meeting.
Oh yeah, but when we met them, the first time we met them, remember that time when we met them in Auckland for the lunch? We met Jules and...
Yeah, but it was the board meeting first, and then we met this whole shareholding group, wasn't it? Around that lunching table.
Yeah, but we met them before that.
Yeah. Oh yes, I know what you're talking about. That first trip up to Auckland.
Yeah.
Elgin was there as well.
Elgin was there.
Yeah. But Nate wasn't there.
No, Nate didn't make it. But everyone else was there, and it was really good. But no, meeting them all was like, everyone was similar to us. Just good workers, good people, and just wanted the best, out of out of the situation. It was really good to see people like us, because we'd just met Guy before, and not everybody else. So to meet everyone together, I wasn't drinking then, but everyone had a few drinks, and and then we ended up in some rubbish restaurant that you and Guy wanted to go to. But it was good. It was good to meet everyone and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and then the extension from that was this year we forged on and had a big Christmas party with everybody.
Yes.
And it was the first time both islands and all the team members had been together at the same time, and that was
good.
It was awesome. Like the connection that everybody had quite quickly. I'm not just saying that. I actually thought that was really good, because obviously there was a lot of nervous people about the team getting together at one time, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah, when the whole team came together, both islands, it was amazing.
Yeah, that photo, there's about 50 of us in it.
Yeah, brilliant. It's a really good day out, and I had the worst shirt in the world on. Thanks, Ashley.
Yeah, you spent the most money.
I know. Yeah. But no, it was good. Yeah.
Oh, this one's easy for me.
Who?
Have to be. Shout out to Grant Taylor. Thanks for taking that job in Invercargill, mate. Obviously very passionate about the South Island, but born in Invercargill, so it was awesome to place a really senior person down there at first sort of go at a senior role down in Invercargill. So, Grant being a Southlander as well, it's a good story him coming home. So it's full circle for me, really being born down that end of the country.
Yeah, that's really good. I'd have to put it that all the placements are memorable. But Big Kev.
Kev Mansfield?
Yeah,
nice.
Kev Mansfield. Yeah. He walked into our office from England and said, I'm a CPO. What have you got for me? I didn't know what a CPO
No, and he was like, we were like, where have you worked? And he worked at like eBay and all these massive companies. And he was here in Dunedin sitting in our office. There was only two of us at that point.
And two of us on a couch.
And that was a referral through my sister.
Yeah.
And she was in London at the time. That was crazy.
Yes. And then, and then the week before, a week after, we had a meeting with a client, and they go, I need a CPO. I'm like, fuck. I've got one. Sorry, take that. We were like, oh, wow, we've got one.
Yeah.
And
we had one.
We had one, and it was great. And they hired him. And, and then he became a really good client, a good friend. And, we placed him again.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. But, we've placed so many cool people and so many great people. And it's been a pleasure working with everyone. But,
too many to name. Absolutely. But no, absolutely. Yeah.
Kevin, amazing.
He's cool, man.
It was just such a random time, but everyone's been brilliant.
Biggest change? Well, we're still probably, I hate using the word journey. I think it gets thrashed, but we're still probably on that at the moment. For me, it's systems. Like, I really struggle, as you know. I like things to be done a certain way. So yeah, I mean, there's been massive change. What else?
Just for me, decision making's been so, having other people to run stuff by have been so good. Having a supportive system, where you and I had to wear everything before. We got Elgin and Ange that helped us, but in general, it's all of us. It was us that had all the responsibility.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure in the end, because we were getting to a reasonable size in the South Island. So yeah, I suppose that, and you can go into that governance piece, right? And we sort of touched on that earlier about the decision making. Tom and I probably historically we always made decisions really quickly without probably rolling forward a few months to see what that might have looked like, and probably fell in a few potholes because of it. And I think with more structure, there's probably more frustration that happens with that. Let's be honest, it does get frustrating that you can't do stuff, but at the same time, with probably less risk, and we make less mistakes because of that, I think. Yeah,
and that's been the biggest change for me. For our customers, I think the biggest change would be, everything's a bit more efficient. We've got bigger networks. We've got bigger access to resources. So our marketing's better. So there's a lot of big change that way as well. But the decision making's been a big one for me, which has been good. Yeah, and 4 locations as well. Like, we're legitimately can say that we're in the 4 major centres across New Zealand. And if we've got a client that's trying to hire in the North Island, we've actually got someone up there that we can pass that to now, rather than trying to work that from the south, right? Yeah, definitely. And we are the largest locally owned IT recruitment agency in New Zealand. So
Caveat.
that's a big change.
Locally owned. I think when I think about the last 2 years, so the sort of start of 2023, we hired quite a few staff at the start of 23, and it was probably the time that the market started to turn. So we've really watched those team members that are quite junior in their experience with recruitment or their journey with recruitment, having to really be in the trench. For me, like learning at a time when the market's not thriving, because the recruitment industry in general has taken a hammering over the last couple of years. It's been really tough, and our team's learning in that environment. So if I roll forward 2 years with my optimistic hat on, and the market and the economy's back to where it was in, say, end of 21, 22, and to watch those guys then be in an environment where things are a bit easier and they're not having to grind for everything will be quite special, I think. Watching sort of their growth trajectory in that market, I think, would be quite cool.
Yeah, the next 2 years to see the team grow is awesome. Yeah, because they have done it tough.
Really tough.
So to come out of it, in the way that they are, will be excellent. But and cementing our place as the best, not just the biggest, the best recruitment agency in New Zealand, locally owned. We want to. That's the next 2 years for me. Is we want to have the best clients, have the best customers, get the best results, and just build on our community. The community is very important for us, and we want to make sure that the tech community is thriving in every centre that we're in and around it. So I think it's going to be awesome the next 2 years.
Yeah. Fast forward and have a look. It'd be awesome, wouldn't it? See what it looks like.
But what does it look like? That's the thing, right? It's gonna, more people, more places. It's exciting just to think about the future. But everything's quite exciting for the next 2 years and beyond. Not just at 2 years. It's 10 years, 20 years. It's gonna be pretty exciting.
Well, you'll be 70.
You'll be 72. No, you're older than me.
I'm 38. 38 this month, actually.
Yeah. The clients I've spoken to are really happy about the merge. Corey and I have built, and the team have built, our clients are really close, and we've got really good relationship with the clients. And so they've been really happy for us to see us grow. We've always had aspirations to move into the North Island, so the merge, instead of Corey and I having to go and build in the North Island, the merge has taken that part away from us. So they're happy that we're here, and we're staying here, and that we're building here. But it's the clients have been supportive, been happy, and they've really sort of got our back. It's pretty good to see.
Yeah. Generally, really positive. Like Tom just touched on, a lot of our clients have been with us since the start. When it was just two of us. Some of them signed our first set of terms and have been with us for a long time. I think, the ones that have been in business are probably a little bit sad potentially too, because we're starting to talk about brand and the longevity of the Crew brand in the market with the Potentia brand. It's hard to manage two brands, so we're starting to go through those conversations. And I think some of them, there will be a little bit of sadness around the brand potentially in the future. But all in all, it's been really positive to have conversations. When you've got two guys that started something from a white piece of paper that's ended up being one of the largest technology recruitment companies locally owned in New Zealand, that's just an awesome conversation to be having, and they've been part of that. So I think all in all, that's been really positive. I would love, we're very passionate about the South Island and bringing tech to the South Island. I'd love for the South Island to start to be recognised as a place where organisations like multinationals could come and set up. To get some bigger organisations that are going to come into New Zealand that don't just think they have to set up in the North Island somewhere, to set up actually in the South Island, so that we can then, because we've got some really good education centres, right, in the University of Canterbury, Otago, there's QRC in Queenstown, down in Invercargill with the tech hub down there. But we lose a lot of talent to the North Island and internationally because we don't have those big multinationals in the South Island. So I'd love some of them to come and set up here so that we can sort of start retaining that talent a little bit, I think would be awesome for the South Island as well.
Yeah, that would be brilliant because, you know, as you said, there's people leaving because of there's
The lack of jobs, really, isn't it?
Yeah, lack of jobs.
Or there's just bigger opportunities in the North Island and internationally. So, but there's just so much opportunity, I think, and space really in the South Island. Like, there's just so much room for people to come and set up and grow. So
yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, that would be awesome.
that would be good though, wouldn't it? Like growing talent locally and then seeing that come through education and then into an opportunity actually in the South Island would be magic.